What's up, Heat Nation? Yo, boy Ernest here, back with another This is Dos Minutos, ladies and gentlemen. I got the boy Amir from Team to Be Miami Heat. Amir, how you doing today, my guy?
I'm doing good, man. It's Friday, almost the weekend. Can't complain. And it's been a while since we've had a Dos Minutos episode, so excited to chat.
Yeah, man, it's been the slow time of the year, but I'm glad, things are starting to pick up. Preseason's in a month. Before we get started, you guys, please don't forget, like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. My boy Amir here, he's getting to 2,000 subscribers. He's been doing big things on YouTube, so make sure, guys, I'm hitting 5,000 subscribers, so all hands on deck. Run to Team to Be Miami Heat. Click that subscribe button. Help my boy get to 2,000 subscribers. Now, let's get ready to rock and roll on another Dos Minutos adventure. Amir, I got an interesting topic today, my man, and I want to talk to you a little bit about it. I know you recently posted a video about it, so I really want to get your opinion. Excuse me. There's a few rumors that have recently been coming out about Jimmy Butler possibly going to other teams. It was reported recently that there's mutual interest between Jimmy Butler and the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think that's true. But another rumor recently came out from Sam Amick, a very credible inside reporter who's basically talking about Golden State Warriors having interest in Jimmy Butler. Now, this is something that we've heard before, but the fact that there's more traction gaining between Brooklyn, Golden State, even possibly Houston, do you think, Amir, that there's actually any truth to these rumors?
I mean, maybe, but not. I don't understand why Brooklyn would want to acquire Jimmy Butler. Like, they just traded away James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, now Mikal Bridges in the last 3-4 years, right? Like in 3 years, they've traded every single star they've had, and they just received five first round draft picks for Mikal Bridges. They're in complete tank mode, as they should be, because Cooper Flag is going to be entering the NBA draft after next season. So why would you want to add, even if you have the cap space, like why would you want to add Jimmy Butler, which can add anywhere from 5 to 10 extra wins for the Nets perhaps next season when you're trying to tank? I want to be as shitty as possible. So I don't understand. I don't think that makes sense. Why would Jimmy want to go there, honestly? Like, if Jimmy's really about winning, and you remember what happened after we lost in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics, he said, I'll be back. We're going to beat him next year. Like, he wants to win. Like, I'm hoping that's the case, right? Like, he's already made a lot of money. He's made, 200, 300 million, whatever it's been in the NBA. Like, the guy doesn't need money. So if it's really all about the money, and if that's what Jimmy's all about, then I could see Jimmy going there because it's a big city. It's New York. He loves New York, all that stuff. But, like, I don't think it's realistic. I think that's cap. The Warriors, though, makes more sense, I think, because Steph Curry is still a top 3 or 4 player in the NBA, or top 5, perhaps. And we saw what he did in the Olympics. He still has a lot left in the tank, even though he is 36 years old. And he's still dominant. So they need help. They can't compete in the West. Them and the Lakers are getting older. They're playing teams. Everybody that's younger has been adding pieces and getting better. So they need to make a move. So I could see how they're interested, but I don't think the Miami Heat are interested at this point right now. So I don't think the Miami Heat want to trade Jimmy Butler, because just the way you think, they think if healthy, we have enough, right? Like, that's been the mantra. Like, if healthy, we have enough. We've added some pieces through the draft, and people are going to develop and hopefully have some leaps next season. So I think they have faith as long as we're healthy, and they want Jimmy to win here. Like, they like Jimmy Butler. Jimmy does like Miami, but we do have to deal with that whole extension piece. So what are your thoughts just like on the Warriors piece more so versus the Brooklyn piece? Because I think the Warriors make sense because that gives them a chance to win,
No, it definitely does. I mean, if we're talking about a trade mid-season, like the only way that like something like that works, in my opinion, is if the Heat start the season, like 10-25, the writing's on the wall, the team's not working, maybe there's too much injuries. I understand a trade like that. And with the the Brooklyn Nets, excuse me, the reason why this is becoming big is because there is a guy from Nets Daily that works directly with the team, where they basically put out reports saying Jimmy Butler's interest in the Brooklyn Nets is very real. partially due to his connection with Ben Simmons. And right there, when I read that report, same thing that you said earlier. Cap, Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons played together 6 years ago, and it wasn't the best connection. So that makes no sense at all. The Golden State Warriors thing, yeah, that makes a little sense. But I'm telling you right now, all of these rumors that we're hearing, Golden State, Brooklyn, Houston, nonsensical, 100% grade A bullshit. I'm calling Cap bullshit, Cap, whatever you want to say. It's mierda, as us Latinos say it. It's crap. It's not true. What I think is happening, Amir, and it's like I told you before we started the episode, this is all Bernie Lee. And for those of you who don't know who Bernie Lee is, it's Jimmy Butler's agent. Ethan Skolnick reported on the recent Miami Heat roundtable that we did that Bernie Lee and the representatives in Jimmy Butler's camp were shocked when the Heat did not offer the extension, and they gave it to Bam Adebayo. What this is telling me, all of these rumors that are happening, Jimmy Butler's camp's not really happy with Bam Adebayo's extension. That's what I honestly think is happening. That they feel you give the money to Bam, but you don't give it to Jimmy. So what's Bernie Lee doing? He's causing interest. He's generating drama. Because if I guess he's like saying, hey, it's kind of like the short I did earlier today. If you guys haven't seen it, checked it out. But it's kind of like Bernie Lee in the camp telling Pat Riley, hey, if you don't want to give Jimmy the extension, Brooklyn's interested, Golden State's interested, Houston might be interested. What y'all going to do? What I love about Pat Riley, that ain't going to faze the Godfather. Remember back in 2011 when Wade, LeBron, and Bosh went to him and said, fire Spo? He's like, nah, you guys got to deal with it. You can't rattle Pat Riley. So I don't know why Bernie Lee's doing all this crap. And for the people that say that it's not Bernie Lee, it is. Because how the hell are people seeing that Jimmy Butler has real interest in these teams? Like, even Sam Amick said during the offseason that Golden State actually contacted the Miami Heat about Jimmy Butler. I don't think that's true. I think that's just Bernie Lee telling all these people crap just so it can get out there so we can do what we're doing. Talk about it. Push rumors. So Pat Riley and the Miami Heat can be forced to give Jimmy Butler the maximum contract. Problem is, you're doing that to the wrong team. You're doing that to the wrong the wrong president. Pat Riley's not going to get faced. So if you ask me, BS, I don't think it's going to happen. Jimmy Butler's going to be a Miami Heat player this year. The only way he could be traded, like I said, if you suck halfway of the year and you see that the writing's on the wall and you don't want to lose Jimmy for nothing. But getting back to that, Amir, my question for you, let's say we're in a situation where the Heat are 10-25, 10-30. Now you're putting Jimmy Butler on the market before the February deadline. Between these three teams that we've seen reports from, Brooklyn, Golden State, possibly even Houston, what team do you feel would have the best package, the most realistic package? This ain't 2K. Let's do a realistic trade. What team do you feel can make an actual trade with the Heat that can work for us?
I mean, Houston probably, because they have a lot of, I don't know what their draft capital looks like, but they have a lot of good young pieces.
They have 2 first-round draft picks this year. I believe so. 2 first-round draft picks and even more after that.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they have Jalen Green, which, hasn't fully panned out completely. I don't know if I would want him. He reminds me of kind of like a Tyler Hero type of player. He could score, but he's kind of undersized, not the best defender. He's inconsistent, streaky. He did start looking really good, though, for the last, 2 months of the NBA season. But It's either Houston or the Nets. I guess it depends what you want. Like, do you want a young player like a Jalen Green, perhaps? Or maybe we can get, what's his name, Cam Whitmore, who we passed on. I don't think they're gonna, my best friend's a Rockets fan, so he watches every single game. He knows everything about them, and he's bullish on them. And he says Cam is really good prospect. So,
but you mean Cam Johnson, right? You say Cam Whitmore.
No, I'm talking about the Rockets still. Cam.
Oh, okay, the Rockets, yeah.
The guy who got drafted, who got drafted.
Whitmore. I remember.
So, if we want to get younger pieces like that, perhaps, and maybe 2 picks, then we can go the Houston route. Or if we want to just get as much draft capital as possible, I don't know if the Nets are going to be willing to give up those first-round picks. They all just acquired for the Mikal Bridges trade, but they have 5. They have 5 alone. If they can give us 3 of those picks and Cam Johnson, who you mentioned, right? Like someone who's making like 23 million, a good 3-and-D player. He's 28 years old. He's a good, solid player. But you already know what you're going to get from him, right? Like
Yeah.
Cam Whitmore and Jalen Green probably have a higher ceiling. They're still super young. I mean, Cam is 20 years old. Cam Whitmore is 20 years old, and Jalen Green's like 22. So it really depends what the Miami Heat want. And do you want like 3 or 4 first-round picks from the Nets if they're willing to give all that up for Jimmy and like Cam Johnson, and maybe you throw in a Finney Smith, someone who's been or Miami's been interested in, then those are the two paths. I don't know. What would you think of those two options? Would you want more picks and the older kind of guys that are like going to be just rotational players that you know what you're going to get? Or would you rather have less picks and you get like the Jalen Green and like the younger guys who have like more potential to be, all-stars?
I prefer more picks simply because we don't have a lot. And we already have diamonds as young players. We have Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, Nikola Jovic. You even have young players on the team that you currently have. You have Bam Adebayo, who's a cornerstone. Terry Rozier is only 30. Duncan Robinson's only 30. Tyler Hero's 24. You have a lot of young players that you can move forward with. Without Jimmy on this team, this Miami Heat team is the perfect destination for a superstar because you have a bunch of amazing role players and one of the best two-way players in the NBA in Bam Adebayo. You put a superstar with that team, and that's a championship team right there. But one thing the Heat don't really have a lot of is draft capital. And one thing that we've seen lately, the Heat hit on their picks. Doesn't matter where we pick, we hit on them.
Yep.
So, of course, if we get more draft capital, that'd be amazing. Now, if you're asking me who might be one of the best young prospects as far as the trade goes, well, I'd be leaning more with Golden State with Jonathan Kuminga, maybe. I really like Cam Johnson, but I think there's more potential with Jonathan Kuminga and also with this Miami Heat team with Eric Spoelstra. I think Kuminga can fit along with those role players that would make this team better for a superstar.
The only problem with that, though, is he wants a max extension also. He's looking to get that max, just like how Brendan Ingram is and all those players. You can only have 2 max players now based on this CBA. So is Kuminga and Bam going to be good enough moving forward, or do you wait a year or two to see if you want to go back on that Donovan Mitchell train and get him to pair with Bam, even though he'll be 27 or 29 by the time that extension is done with? I'd still rather go that route than Kuminga, just because, I mean, Kuminga's good, but him and Bam would be kind of it's just like adding the younger Jimmy Butler, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? He can't really shoot. He's not elite offensively. He's getting better, but he's a freak athlete. But maybe Kashad can become our Kuminga anyway, like internally, right?
Yeah, I would. I mean, because Jimmy Butler's contract may be off the books after this year. And right now, what the Miami Heat need to do is to get their finances in order and get certain people off their books. So if we're trading for Jimmy Butler, I want expiring contracts and draft picks. That's what I'd be willing to take. If you can give me a young guy who's like who still has a couple years left in a rookie contract where we can make time, and set it up, cool. But for somebody like Kuminga, it's kind of the same situation with Ingram. Why I don't want to trade for Ingram, because you have to give him a max. If you're going to make a trade, it's to get yourself flexible and get yourself in order so you can get that superstar player next to Bam. So Amir, I really appreciate it. We got some great insights, my guy. Really appreciate your opinion. Before we close off, my guy, please let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at the Team to Beat Miami Heat YouTube channel. I'm on path to 2,000 subscribers, so really appreciate the support. And we're doing a bunch of roundtables, so we've been pretty busy. Obviously, you've seen in the last week or so, we've had 3 or 4 really big guests. So we've had Will Manso, Tobin, Ethan J. Skolnick from 5 Reasons. So that's why Ernest and I haven't really had the time to do any Dos Minutos episodes, but we'll do more during the regular season. We're 2 weeks away from training camp, and so once the regular season comes, we'll have a lot more content. So Ernest and I will try to do this hopefully more frequently. I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks since we've done one.
Yeah, man, but it is what it is, bro. We're both dads. We both work, we both work. We both have our families. So, and especially the roundtables that we have, but we're going to give our people more and more content. Please, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, head on over to Team to Beat Miami Heat. Do the same thing. I need all hands on deck. Thank y'all so much for the love and support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out and Amir out. Dos minutos. And that's enough said.